there's some folks who believe that many quarterbacks in this scheme, with you as the coach, with Tyreek and Jalen, maybe even many quarterbacks would excel, would flourish, would be near the top of the passer rater leading MVP candidate. What, if any, pushback is there relative to, wait, no, hold on. Tua is a little different.
Let's push this podium over.
My answer to that would be who the F cares, because it is a team. We're working together, and I know one thing. I've coached stuff a long time. I haven't seen people do what our guys do.
Now, that's what Mike McDaniel was supposed to say. He's got to defend the guys on the team. But to the extent that we embrace analytics as a personnel tool, and analytics have been part of NFL personnel for years. They just didn't call it analytics. But when you consider, and they have a decision to make coming up, what they're going to do with Tua Tagovailoa's long-term financial situation. Is he a guy that you pay market value to when you recognize the possibility that there are others out there that could run that offense with Mike McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, all the other pieces? If that's true, I mean, that's something they have to ask themselves. It's one thing for others to have the opinion, but that's a real question at some point that the organization has to ask itself. Before we pay Tua Tagovailoa anything close to market value, what is our replacement cost for Tua?
Yeah.
How much will it require us in draft picks and cash to get somebody who can do exactly what Tua can do? And if a lot of guys can do what Tua's doing, why would you give him $50 million a year? I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying it's a fair question.
Yeah.
And it's part of the analysis the Dolphins had better be engaging in at some point.
Yeah, I agreed there. And then you got to, whoever your new quarterback is, you got to rewire him, right, and get him up to date with the offense and try to get him to a level that Tua's at here in year 2 and whatever else there. So those are all fair. And I'm all for paying Tua market value for what he's doing right now. I mean, he's playing great football. It's a great answer. They're answering things the right way down in Miami, which is what I like a little bit. There's a little edge of like, hey, F what everybody says.
Hang on.
Hold on. I'm going to get there. Hold on.
You're in favor of paying him $50 million a year?
Well, let me just say I didn't finish it. I didn't finish.
All right.
Market value, to me, what are we talking about here? That's sort of, where's market value? I don't think he should be paid anybody.
Let him hit the market and find out.
I know. Well, let's go lower. Well, why does it have to be, he should be right up here now. He's next. You know what I always say. Like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, it should be, here's Patrick Mahomes, and then here we go down the pecking order of everybody else. And nobody should pass him. That's the way it used to be in the old days. I don't know where it became, whoever's up next just gets more money. It's absurd. It's stupid. And the NFL owners are the ones.
Good morning.
All right.
Hello.
So, hello, everybody. Right. Now, it's also fair for people like you and me to have this conversation on what you're talking about with analytics and all of that stuff. You're right. Like, come on. There's nothing wrong with having this conversation. Not that Mike McDaniel or Tua got to get involved with it, but this is part of sports and what we do. And you have to be crazy, okay, if you don't think you put Justin Herbert, okay, Justin Herbert with the...
I don't know about him currently.
Well,
I don't know about him currently.
You're crazy, Mike.
I don't know.
Come on.
I want to see him win some games. I want to see him not miss Keenan Allen when he's wide-ass open.
If you put Joe Burrow with them, you put Josh Allen with them, you put Mahomes with them, you put Lamar with them, you put Jalen Hurts with them, you put Trevor Lawrence with them. They're all going to set the single-season passing record. They all are, okay? All right? And Justin Herbert would too. Definitely. I mean, come on. There's a lot of issues out there in the Chargers that are affecting that. So that's where. And why is it so crazy to say that? Like, does everybody think that Dan Marino wouldn't have won a Super Bowl on the 49ers? Hey, this just in, everybody. He would have won multiple. I'm not saying he would have won 4 or more, but he would have won multiple. Do you think if you didn't put him on the Giants instead of Phil Simms that the Giants wouldn't have won a Super Bowl with Dan Marino? Like, get the hell out of here. Why is it at quarterback we can't have this conversation, but any other position people can do it? Like, if you ever go, man, what would Barry Sanders look like behind that 93 Cowboys offense line? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I know, it'd be amazing, right? He'd have been unstoppable. He'd been the greatest. He would have broke the rushing record. Everybody can do it at every position, but when it gets quarterback, it gets personal to certain fan bases, and they can't take it. And yeah, Tua and Brock Purdy, it's the same thing. They're very good. They're really good quarterbacks. But there is a substantial amount of quarterbacks that could do what they do in the NFL, and they'd win the games and put up numbers where we'd go, damn, they're MVPs. So that's all we're saying, and I think it's fair to have that perspective. I do think it's fair.
I want to go back to how I define market value. I mean market high-end, top of market value. And I didn't explain it very artfully, and I lit the fuse on an S-bomb and an F-bomb, and we apologize to our viewers and listeners that Chris, who's been sick this week, I'll make the excuse for
I don't apologize for any of it. This is how I talk.
See, he's so sick he doesn't even know how to apologize. But my point is this, and I think we're on the same page, and maybe the only way to do this is to let Tua hit the market after next year. They picked up the fifth-year option, surprised a lot of people by doing that, and you and I have a theory that, and I think you agree with my theory, that they felt like they owed it to him after all the crap he went through last year,
right? And
they didn't want to show anything other than complete faith in him going into this season. This is really the season where they're going to make their long-term decision about Tua. But that's the question. What do you pay Tua if you acknowledge maybe there are plenty of other guys that can do what Tua is doing? Because then the next question is, how much does it cost us to get one of those guys? How much of this is Mike McDaniel? How much of Purdy is Kyle Shanahan? Those are fair questions. And you're right, Chris. It's not hate of the player. We know the quarterbacks who have supernatural, off the charts, holy crap, I can't. Hey, Pete, this is a good conversation. Screw this other stuff. This other stuff is just checking boxes. Let us talk about what we're talking about, please. We can see now. I should have dropped an S-bomb there. We can have this conversation about whether or not a quarterback truly is in the category of the ones who are the highest paid. Some of them who are making a lot of money aren't. And if you're a fan of the team, wouldn't you rather pay the quarterback less so you'd have money to spend at other key positions if you could go find a guy for a lot less than what Tua may want or what Brock Purdy eventually may want? It's a fair conversation. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.